How is the backup? Arch Manning has better Trophy odds than Quinn Ewers. How does the backup have better Heisman Trophy? That's that's completely hype. That's completely hype. That's crazy. So basically, if Arch Manning just plays, if he just plays and Texas wins, he's gonna win the Heisman. You cannot beat. Sorry, Shador. Your hype machine is not bigger than that hype machine. Shador can go undefeated, and Arch Manning can go defeated. Who you think is gonna win the Heisman Trophy? Arch Manning. Good morning, Vic. What's good, Alpha? Yeah, media hype is crazy. What's up, Emmanuel? I just watched the whole uh Ravens versus uh, Raiders match game. I just watched the whole thing, so I got notes. I got notes. I got the formula. I got the formula that we're going to beat the Ravens right there on my phone in my notes. So just call if anybody know any coaches, just let them know I got it right there, and we're going to talk about it. What's up, ignorant thinkers? Brent, what's up? Oh, the benching of Bryce Young as starting quarterback. Here's the other end, Alpha Mason. Here, this is the other end of the hype machine. It's the tear down machine. Now Bryce Young, who never, never got a legit shot in the NFL. Never, never. Picture what Patrick Mahomes came into, and then think about what this kid came into. Patrick Holmes came in. They're like, no, chill out, learn, figure out what you're gonna do. You calm. Don't have to worry about things right now. Then Alex Smith gone, and you had a coach that put weapons around Patrick Mahomes and had a system for him so it can work and everything. It was the perfect situation. It was a super talented quarterback that went to a smart organization who had a very innovative coach that could do the right things. It was just a match made in heaven, right? Bryce Young has won on every level. The dude doesn't suck. The dude doesn't, he can't just miss bubble screens. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things he's done all his life. He's practiced quarterback. He's done everything. He don't get to the NFL and just all of a sudden he can't play football anymore. That dude's in a horrible situation. And I said it when I was telling my friends when they drafted him. I was like, one, he's too small, so for his height, they would have to play a certain way. You can't play the normal drop back in the pocket read when you got linemen that are, monsters that are standing in front of him and he's got to see around them and all that kind of stuff. You have to move the pocket. You have to do things. You got to move him, you got to do all kind of stuff. And not only can you do that, you can't just do that. You got to have the offensive line to block for that type play. You got to have weapons for that type of play. You got to have a whole system built for that type of play to actually utilize Bryce Young to his best. And then he probably could do great. It's just, look at Carr. Look at the difference between Carr and Raiders and Carr now. It's just night and day. The quarterback is a part of the equation. And when you get a quarterback, you can build your team around that quarterback. Or my favorite solution is you build your team and then you just get a quarterback that fits the nature of your team and what your team needs. If you're looking for a quarterback to be Superman and put the team over your back, you've been watching the sports media too much and you're thinking of fairy tales, because that's not what happens in real life. It is these other guys that make it happen. That's real life. So CJ is a part. CJ, what they did in Houston is they put a good team. They got CJ and they put him on a good team. He was the perfect fit for what they're doing. And now this offseason, they tweaked the team a little bit more to CJ's skill sets. So what they're doing in Houston, the coaching there is just is beautiful. It's doing what you should do. You know, when you get that, when you're ready to get that quarterback. You don't do what the Panthers do. You don't have a bare cupboard, a bare cupboard. Nothing in your offense. Your offense is totally. I mean, you have nothing on your offense. You don't get a quarterback and think that quarterback is going to put the team on his back and do anything. That's how countless quarterbacks have perished in the NFL. It is not the fact that they can't play. They've been practicing quarterback. They can throw. They can do all the things. Maybe some of them's processing is a little slow, but if you're in the right system, that speeds up that processing. The processing is slow when you're playing in a different way than you've never played before in your life. Or you're doing things that you've never done before in your life. Then that's when the processing gets slow. So in almost every situation, I think it's the situation. Wow, that was whoa. The synapses popping. That situation. That was a good one. That was a good one. All right, I'm awake. How are you? Good morning, Jimmy. You need a line that can block, a quarterback that can think and throw, a wide receiver that can catch, and then you need running back that can run, and that allows your offense to score. You need all of that. But the Panthers were and a lot of teams were doing that. What's up Spark? How you doing? I was just saying a lot of teams were go by that philosophy. The Cleveland Browns have went through countless quarterbacks thinking, okay, we're a terrible team. Let's get a quarterback and then we can start being a good team. No, why don't you start being a good team and then go get a quarterback? Focus on being a good team. And that leads us in. Everybody's here. That leads us into this game. Shango, Bear says, Shango, would I bring back Hendershot? Yeah, I said that yesterday. Bear, I had it in one of my topics that I would definitely bring Hendershot because what's his name? I almost said David LaFleur. That's what he reminded me of. But he does what Ferguson can do more than any other tight ends on our league, on our team right now. So Hendershot could come back and actually be productive on our team, until Ferg gets back. He was a mini Ferg. He was an almost Ferg. He was a Ferg that dropped the ball every once in a while, but he really, he was productive. Yeah, man. You know what, Brent? I can't talk about quarterbacks. And Trevor's not doing well, but one of my Clemson quarterbacks was going to have a bad week this week. I'll just say that, Brent. After that Clemson, after the the Browns versus the Jaguars, and both of them lost week one, and both of them didn't do anything week one. Week two, one of the two was gonna have to go down. So at Clemson, I love Deshaun Watson. He's probably one of my favorite Clemson players of all time. The pro Deshaun Watson I liked until he left Houston. Now I don't even know who this guy is. Is it all lies? Is it all true? Is he really? I don't know. I don't know anymore. It's just that they've destroyed his name so much that I don't even want to have an opinion on Deshaun Watson anymore. That's bad. I don't have an opinion on Deshaun Watson. I just hope for the best. Let's just say that. They have, and if it was intentionally done to destroy this man's aura, it is destroyed. I don't know if he deserved. That's what I'm saying. I'm out of it. I don't know if he deserved it. I don't know. I don't know nothing about the man. But he was good at Clemson. That's my thing. Cry Eagles cry. What's up, Guido? Good morning. No, I don't want Guido. I don't want any more old quarterback coaches. I don't want any more old coaches. This was my last time that a young coach comes in and outcoaches one of our old treads. Exactly, DJ Jamil. I mean, how many times are we going to take young people coming in here and just schooling our old name coaches until we figure out, yo, let's not do that. Oh, they're talking about Kellen Moore. Oh, they're talking about Kellen Moore. I really enjoyed that yesterday. Before I get into, I'm glad it started right before. I enjoyed this yesterday. The Eagles fans are getting to know Kellen Moore. I'm tired. McCarthy is. You know what? McCarthy has several different faces to me. He looks like Jason Garrett. He looks like Dave Campo. He looks like Wade Phillips. All of them. And I'm so tired of that guy. That Jerry Puppet. That soft. That losing coach. I'm tired of it. I want somebody young. I want somebody that's actually plugged into what's going on in the NFL right now. I don't want a resume of what happened in 2009 or 2007 or 2003 or whenever McCarthy went to the Super Bowl. I don't need that because that's, 20 years, almost 20 years ago. I need somebody that's winning right now that, like last season, run up the score on people. I need somebody like that running my offense. And apparently that was Kubiak. And we didn't know nothing about him. So when they're talking about new coach for Dallas, they would never say Kubiak because we don't do our research like that. So no, yeah, I'm very tired of McCarthy, and it's not personal on Mike McCarthy. He has several different faces. He looks like Jason Garrett. He looks like Campo. He looks like Wade Phillips. He looks like all them boys just mushed together. Deion Sanders, please. Yeah, Jaja Banks. We need a young offensive coordinator. Okay, thank you, Craig. Christy. Good morning, Christy. Hold on. Let me off topic. What do you think about Micah's philosophy on Mike Jim and what he said? He wasn't his fault. I agree. Both the defense and Zimmer are bad. We're gonna get to Micah in just a minute, Hunter. I got lots of thoughts on Micah. Um, the Chargers offense. Okay, just got finished. Jerry's the problem, Hunter. Exactly. Just got finished watching the Raiders versus the Ravens, and I just want to let you know the Ravens are not playing horrible football. The Ravens just happened to lose 2 games in a row. The first game they lost was to the defending Super Bowl champions. Understandable. This game, the Raiders played like monsters. The Raider Antonio, they played their defense went they turned it into a fight, basically. So their defense was going blow for blow with the Ravens defense. And it was a literal football game where you can just toss a coin because something's gonna happen to put this team in the right position at the end of the football game. And that's exactly what happened. It put the Raiders in the right position at the right time. Hard play, good play. Put the Raiders in the right position at the right time. Was no Bryce Young phantom quarterback just lifting the team up and like, yes, the quarterback did it. Dun, dun, dun. None of that stuff. It's actual football and actual play, and they set their team up at the end of the game to win the football, to kick the winning field goal. So the Ravens are by any means an 0-2 football team. They just happen to lose their first two football games of the season. There's not any indications that the Ravens are going to have a bad season. They're going to be 0-17 or 0-9. That is definitely not going to happen. That team is going to win, and we're going to have a battle in front of our hands on Sunday. All right. How the Raiders beat them. They kept it real simple. Like we did against the Browns. They kept it real simple. They didn't do anything special, and they just started slowly grinding the ball down the field. I don't think the Raiders got rid of their running back. That was one of the teams that got rid of Josh Jacobs, but they had his name just slipped my brain, but he was running hard. He was their number 22 for the Raiders. I don't know why. Just somebody say the name for me when you get a chance. But he was having a good game, And then defensively, the Raiders, Max Crosby. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead to that Max versus Micah topic right here. The Max Crosby is no Micah. Max Crosby was everywhere. Max Crosby is one of those defensive, and when you have a pass rusher like Micah, you want to run at him. You don't want to run at Max Crosby. You don't want to pass at Max Crosby. You don't want to pass in front of Max Crosby. You want to avoid Max Crosby at all times because that dude is just relentless. And that is a person who affects an offense on every single play. He's not just pinning his ears back and going to go get the quarterback and making highlights and all that kind of stuff. That's all and dandy. But there's other plays around those plays, and especially if you're that guy that makes all the highlights and you don't have any highlights in the first two games of the season, that's just a person trying to make highlights and getting run past. Do you understand what I'm saying? Max Crosby is over there every play. 98 messed me up. 98 did this. 98 was a menace on every single play. So that's what the Ravens were dealing with on the offensive side of the football. So don't think the Ravens are not doing what they're supposed to do or whatever. The Ravens played hard. Derrick Henry at the beginning of the game, they had, I think I wrote the stats down at the beginning of the game. Derrick Henry had 4 carries for -5 yards. They were blowing him up as soon as he touched the ball, and then finally, he started getting the wheels going and getting some good runs underneath him. But it wasn't easy for Derrick Henry at all. The scariest thing I saw with Derrick Henry with us, because we live in the backyard of the tush push, and that's one thing. That's a play I hate more than anything, and I think the Eagles have opened up a Pandora's box with this play or whatever, because now the Ravens have adopted a version of the tush push, and what it is Lamar goes out at wide receiver, and Henry goes into the wildcat, and then he takes the direct snap from the wildcat and goes directly into the line. Once he hits the line, the guys come around behind him and push him on in. So they push for like a 4-yard touchdown. And it was as legit as anything you saw Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts do, because he got the ball, and when he got as far as he could go, then they pushed him, and then then his legs kept going and the push going, and that's cheating. Please, NFL, stop this. That's cheating. Somebody's gonna put William Perry back there again. The refrigerator. Remember when he did that refrigerator? Somebody's gonna put Richard Freddie with a direct snap, and then everybody's gonna get behind William Perry and push him, and they're gonna be able to do that from the 10-yard line. If we don't stop this now. I know what you're saying, Jay Recruiter. The Cowboys are going to swarm them, but this game wasn't about speed. This game was about brute force. We're going to have brute force versus the Ravens. Tell me in your mind that you can see a scenario where quickness and agility beats the Ravens. North-south. We're talking about the Ravens. North-south. They run the ball downhill. They don't do the playing around stuff. That's our swarming defense works with people who try to make moves and doing this. Like Saquon Barkley. I fully expect our defense to do pretty well against Saquon Barkley because, well, I said that about Alvin Kamara too, didn't I? So I don't think it's just like, yeah, geez. I have no confidence in the defense anymore. I used to have confidence. Yesterday, I had confidence in our defense where I could say certain things. That today, I don't really have that same confidence. I really don't. That's crazy. The Cowboys are finesse. I hope you're right, Jay Recruiter, but please go watch the Ravens versus the Raiders. And you'll see when you watch the Raiders play, you'll see the level of fierceness that we're going to have to raise our bar to. And I haven't seen us play with that level of. We didn't play that with that level of fierceness with the Browns. We were able to swarm the Browns. The Ravens offense ain't like that. They're more physical, a lot more physical. And we had the Browns without Chubb. I don't know what I'm going to see Team America. I don't, I can see us giving Henry some problems, but I can also see Henry getting his shoulders squared to the end zone and start going downhill and shedding people like he was with the Raiders. Because when they grab him, they just just slide right off. Yeah, are you hearing good things about Dalvin Cook Bear? Because I'm not hearing great things. And we have not on offense. On offense, the Raiders that what's his name? Brock Bowers, the tight end from Georgia. Ooh, he's good. That dude is good. Get ready for because he was doing. Are we gonna have Ferguson? Because that was my thing. Because he was doing work on the Ravens, and he was very vital. Even when Devontae Adams, who was also having a monster game, making some stupid catches. Devontae dropped a simple pass and put him in a bad third down, 3rd and 8 or whatever, and Bowers caught the third down pass like it was nothing, converted the first down, and it was like, man, that Brock Bowers is having a game. A game. Lamar Jackson, that's my first comment. Okay, the Ravens defense is first my comment. The Ravens defense, they're going to come after Dak. They're going to get to Dak. They're going to live in our backfield. I do not see us running on them. If we actually have a successful running game if we successfully run on the Ravens defense, there is no reason to worry about our run game. I'll say that right now. If we come in this game Sunday and Ezekiel Elliott and all those guys, they get the job done versus the Ravens, then we don't have anything to worry about. Because if they can elevate that game to do it against this defense, whom I just saw and whom were doing, they were playing good football, If they can do that to that defense, then we should feel a lot more comfortable. Not a little more comfortable, a lot more comfortable about our run game. Yeah, Bauer's got that size and speed. Ugh. He's going to be a good one. If Team America says if we can keep our linebackers clean, the defense would be fire. Overshawn, yep. Good morning, Action Power. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've got to figure out quick passes are not going to be there. They're gonna um, they're gonna come after Dak, and they're gonna shut down the short routes. I don't know what you do. There's no threat. The run game has to work for the play action to work. So against the Ravens defense, I don't know what you do because we cannot execute our Texas Coast offense where Dak is in the pocket and makes a couple reads because after that first read, he's getting hit. And he can't just throw it because everybody is covered. He's got to I don't see it. Jerry Jones is talking. He said, "Let's trade some challenges during the season for doing well in the playoffs." What is he talking about? He said, "This is his. I'm listening. He's saying we're going to trade some challenges that we've had in the off season, and we're going to make those challenges in the regular season. So now we're going to be bad in the regular season. That means you don't get in the playoffs. If you're bad in the regular season, you have those challenges and you don't meet those challenges in the regular season, then you don't get to the playoffs." And then he said he had the personnel to do it. Will we run the ball this game and use Overshown? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm fairly optimistic on this season. If you put me beside the typical Cowboy fan, I would say I'm much more optimistic than my friend group. Uh, but everybody thinks we're like a bottom tier team, and we're not a bottom tier team. We're definitely not a top tier team. We're a team. So some weeks are going to be good matchups. Some weeks they're not going to be so good matchups. When we face the Giants and the Commanders, we're going to have to do what we do those games. We're going to have to take care of those teams. When we play teams like the Saints might be a Super Bowl team. The Saints might be a Super Bowl team. I was telling somebody the other day from the butt kicking perspective when we got our butt kicked by Green Bay and our butts kicked by the Saints. When we got beat by Green Bay, I felt it more of a scheme thing. You know what I'm saying? That they had our number, that they knew what we were going to do. Their wide receivers was open. All our receivers were not open. They shut down our run. It was more of a scheme thing that they knew what we were doing and whatnot. I felt like from watching it, but from the Saints, when I'm looking at the highlights right now, they just beat us. They ran through us. They threw it over us. They did anything they want to do. And I was telling somebody else, a great offense makes a defense look very bad. And they made our defense look very bad. Very bad. So, even if we look, with that being said, even if we lose to the Ravens and we do become 1-2, it's not the worst 1-2 in the world. It's 1-2 versus two teams that are probably going to be winning their division. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be the same thing as I said about the Ravens. They're not really an 0-2 football team. They lost a tough game versus the Raiders, a tough legit game versus the Raiders. It wasn't that they came out and laid an egg, and they lost to the defending Super Bowl champions. So things look weird right now because the teams have an O out there, but some teams like the Ravens are 0-2 and the Giants are 0-2, and there's so much green between those two. They're nowhere near close. They haven't been playing nearly as close. It's just not. It's just not the same thing. Dallas are 4-2 by the Watt. That could happen. Alpha Mason. That definitely could happen. John Jarbink said he was at the Saints game and it felt like an away game. So many fans. How does that? You know what? You got to blame Jerry for that because the fans were just not into it. We're just not into it. We look like dinosaurs, Brent. We're running old systems. He's talking about Monk Zimper. Yeah. They're talking about how Kubiak knew exactly what Zimmer's defense would do, but that's what I was talking about. That's perfect timing because I was talking about we're using old schemes, and the old schemes have been taught in high schools. I said that about when we went to the 4-3, when we went to the Tampa 2. I was like, we went to a defense where everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? Every quarterback learned to beat a cover two. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like now they're talking about weapons. The defense, they say the defense can stop one guy if they just need to stop one guy. Now they're talking about how bad our backfield is. It's a good backfield back in 2018. I can yeah. I just can't believe we're blowing the season like this though. We just don't care. I've never seen a season where we just didn't try. This seems exactly Aaron. This seems like a call that a tank year. It's a tank transitionary year. They're tanking. They're not trying. You know, look, man. If Aaron, if what I've seen by people that know Zimmer's defense, we know Quinn's defense, and if we're not able to operate on Quinn's defense, then every offensive person needs to be fired because they practice against Quinn's defense every day. They know the principles of Quinn's defense. They know everything about Quinn's defense. If the Commanders are able to outsmart us on the defensive side, then you tell that Mike McCarthy does not deserve to be here another day, and I'm telling the truth. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Well, Team America, the only thing I can think of is filling our offense up with weapons next year. That's the only thing I can see. Because if we come back next year with, say, a running back, one of these nasty running backs that's coming in the draft, maybe an Austin Genty, my boy, We drafted Austin Genty. We get a number two over there with CD, like kind of like the Eagles have and the Lions have and the 49, all the top teams. We go ahead and get a number two over there with them. Then our offense becomes much different. And once the offense becomes different, the defense can adapt their game to our offense. Right now, our offense has to play behind our defense, and our defense isn't the defense of the Ravens or the Steelers and defenses like that, where our offense can actually play their game off of the defense. Our defense isn't dominating like that. Our defense doesn't stop the run like that. Our defense doesn't do anything that those more dominating defenses do. Our defense works well. What our defense does, it works well with a dominating offense. It becomes very dominating with the dominating offense. But this year we do not. Last year was a pretty dominating offense. It was pretty decent. But this year we do not have a dominating offense. We're not going on. I mean, we have the play action. If you take the play action away from us, a team, because you got no running game, so the team is not jumping at that run, like, oh my God, they're about to run the ball and lose their pass responsibility, they're going to wait till the play develop and say, okay, Zeke does have the ball. Let me go get him. Because there's no fear. I mean, there's no fear. Zeke can get another little extra yard, but you know Zeke ain't going to go that way, so you don't rush to go get Zeke before he gets started because you don't have fear of Zeke taking it to the house. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can be more patient and wait for that pass and take care of your windows until you know for a fact Zeke is coming towards you. Then you go get him for a 2-yard game or a 3-yard game and then let him go do it again. The main thing is to put us into third down situations, and that's what the Saints did. We were in third down over and over. No, third and long, not a third and a 2, third and 6, third and 8, just like difficult third down positions. And I think they got their first 3rd and 2 like in the third quarter or something like that. They were rarely in any third down. That's how they called the offense. That's how Kubiak called the offense, because that's a new style of calling offense. So not put yourself in bad situations on third down. I could have went either way on the Dak extension. The only thing that makes me feel good about the Dak extension, Aaron D, is finding a quarterback is hard. C.J. Stroud is your one. Out of all these quarterbacks that's come through in the last, I don't know how many, 5, 6 years, since who? Who was the last quarterback as good as C.J. Stroud that was drafted? Anybody? Was that Herbert? Or Burrow? That's come in that's actually done something. You have to look at it in perspective like that. So it's a very, very, very good chance. Yeah, it was a very, very, very good chance you wouldn't get a quarterback to the level of Dak for a long time if you didn't have him already on your roster. If we had somebody on our roster that was as good as Dak, then I wouldn't get the extension. But when you don't have nobody, and you see Bryce Young having the problems he's having, you see Caleb coming in not doing that well, you see Will Levis looking like, even back to Trevor, you see Trevor struggling right now, and he's in his I don't know what year. So when you see Daniel Jones, you see all these guys that teams invested with, and once you draft that quarterback and invest in that quarterback like the Giants did, you're stuck with that quarterback. So, I would rather not be in a Daniel Jones. I would rather be in a Dak Prescott situation than a Daniel Jones situation. Any day. So that's why I'm not bothered. Jordan Love maybe, but Jordan Love is still trying. Jordan Love really had one game versus us. And again, and if you was listening earlier, I kind of attribute that game to a scheme thing because those wide receivers were wide open. If you looked at the game after us, when Jordan Love played the San Francisco 49ers, Jordan Love completely fell apart in the second half of that football game, at the end of the football game. And everybody's excuse was, oh, he's young, he's young, he's young. Okay, oh, C.J. Stroud is young. You know, I don't care about young. You know a dog when a dog goes out in that field, and he's not going to fall apart and throw interceptions there at the end of the game. He's going to at least do something, and just fall short or something like that. No, Jordan Love fell apart versus the 49ers. Either Mahomes, Burrow, exactly. It's been a long time. You're not just going to go and get a great quarterback. Yeah, the last one, JJ is right. The rookie, last rookie quarterback that came in and made a huge impact in the NFL. Close your ears. Was Dak Prescott. It was Dak Prescott. He was the last one until C.J. Stroud. It's the highest paid is because it's the timing. Aaron, wasn't Trevor the highest? Why didn't Trevor Lawrence being the highest paid get you? Aaron, answer that question seriously. Seriously, that's a good question. Why didn't Trevor Lawrence being the highest paid quarterback in the league get you? If Dak Prescott being the highest paid gets you. What's up, Noah? That's a real legit question right there. This is a it's the cap. I mean, not the cap. It's the structure. It's just the way the quarterbacks are paid. Quarterbacks take up that much of your quarterbacks take up that much of your roster, whether that quarterback is good or not. That's what I'm trying to say. So you would rather have a quarterback taking up that much of a roster that can actually play. That's what I'm trying to say. We've seen some really bad quarterbacks get really good contracts because teams are begging to find a quarterback that can actually play. And you're convinced Lawrence got paid because of his pretty boy look. You know, Brent Brent asked Shango, do I think Micah is going to be with Dallas for a long time? Man, I'm telling you, when I was sitting here watching Max Crosby, Micah ain't that. Micah is great at what Micah does, but Micah ain't no Max Crosby. Micah ain't no Max Crosby. It's calling me early in the morning. People have to accept the more the cap. Exactly. It is. I, Kyle, I tried to use the lobster thing. It's the lobster thing. When you go to a restaurant, you order lobster. It says the market price. That price is whatever the market says the price is going to be. And right now, the NFL game says the quarterback makes all the money. So it's just no way around it. Either you're going to be paying a quarterback something, unless you invest into a quarterback and a rookie, and you have 4 years, 5 years. You have 5 years until you have to pay that dude a big contract, like what San Francisco's going to have to do with Purdy. Micah is great at chasing the ball, Calvin Patel. Micah is probably the best we've ever seen at chasing the ball. Wherever the ball is, whoever has the ball, usually it's the quarterback, and that's why he's good at getting the quarterback. That's why he's a gets sacks. He's not a sack artist. He's not a Miles Garrett, and he's not those guys that do other things other than just go after the quarterback. It's 420. It's six. I think I have to. It's 6:25 here, so it's almost time for me and the kids. Where was Overshown last year? Yeah, that's I if Overshown didn't play that last week, I don't know if Overshown's gonna play this week because if he wasn't physical enough for that, then I don't know. Aaron, you can't make sense of these contracts. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't put play how they play with their numbers. You can't, and I've been really trying to tell people just because somebody gets paid doesn't mean they're going to play any differently. You're going to still get the same human being. It's just the market. That's what how it's designed. This person makes this much money and this person makes that much money. And when you're a team and you have a quarterback, you have to make that decision. Am I going to pay this guy what the market says? It doesn't have to be worth this. Does it? Can I pay what this dude? Hold, hold on. Let me see if I can mute this. Sorry, that was somebody outside the house need to get in. All right. I didn't know a painter. You know who's getting painted. All right. Let me see. Let me get the last subjects. All right. We did Lamar. Lamar. Um, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not fearing Lamar. Uh. Oh, it wasn't us. Okay. Somebody got. I was a wrong number. Why? I'm doing a show, dude. Gonna call me 3 times over and over and over. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't think worth. You can't think a player is worth this. Morning. What's up, Matt Cheesy? Running is the running game a lack of scheme or inexperience with the line? Both, Matt. I think it's both. I think it's both. I mean, the line is gonna be leaky all year. They're gonna make some good blocks. They're gonna make some good plays or whatever. But as a consistent thing, it's not. It's just gonna slowly. That's what I was trying to tell y'all about offensive line. It's gonna have to slowly get more and more consistent until every play they start dominating the guy, and cut down on the mistakes. Like last game, there was a lot of mistakes by both of them. Even my guy BB. Yes, exactly. Like everything. Look at it, Troy. Troy versus everybody. Look at Troy coming in here with the knowledge in the morning. He says, like everything else in this economy, it ain't about worth. It's about demand and market value. And there are less than 32 people on the planet can do what they do at the level that they do it, and only a handful of those are doing it at a level that you can actually win a championship with. So if you have one that can actually play to win a championship, you don't get rid of it. Just like, for instance, I don't know the Raiders. You know, the way Derek Carr, the way Carr is playing now is like they could have had that. You know what I'm saying? If they put the right people around Carr earlier, now Carr's the second half of the Carr season, a career, is going to be totally different than the first half of his career. And it's going to be the same guy. It's going to be the quarterback is going to be the same guy, but he's going to be worth a whole lot more. He's going to be worth a whole lot more moving forward. Carr going to be an MVP talk. He's going to be an MVP talk now. The guy they used to just tear down. You just got to put him in the right situations, man. If you got one that you can that can get there, you got to put him in the right situation. What, Trey Lance at running back? The Cowboys running game is handing the ball to and then saying hut. No, I do not consider this game a redemption game. This game is going to be tough, and I'll end the game because it's about time for my predictions and time to take my kids to school. It is, dang. Oh, it's late. I'm late. But the Ravens aren't an 0-2 football team like the Giants are an 0-2 football team. The Raiders are an 0-2 football team because of the situation. They played the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Raiders played an amazing football game. The Raiders upped their game tremendously. It wasn't about the Ravens playing horribly and let the Raiders win. No, the Raiders took that football game. They made the Ravens work, and they came away with a W. Congratulations, Raiders. Now, for us, we're going to have to do the same thing. We're going to have to somehow make them work. My prediction is it's going to be hard. I in my mind, as I was watching this game, I don't see us having the same physical presence as the Raiders defense. The Raiders defense, they shut that game down. At the end, when they needed the defense to shut down the Ravens, and not just making plays, they shut them down, like physically, and stood in front of them. It was a machismo type thing that they're punking another team or whatever. So I was like, wow, we ain't got that in us. We don't. That's what happened. That guy's coach. When you hire a coach like that, you can end up with players like that. So congratulations for the Raiders. They do look like they could be the second best team in that division, even with Gardner Minshew, who wasn't doing anything. Gardner Minshew wasn't doing anything special. He was doing short passes and all that kind of stuff. They were just working the Ravens over with a run game and all that kind of stuff. I don't see us working with the run game. I don't see us doing anything. That defense is going to pressure Dak the way they were getting pressure on Minshew. And they're going to force the ball out of Dak's hands quick. They're going to have all the short routes covered. And it's going to be a hard thing to get that ball down the field. Because we ain't going to be able to hold the ball long enough to get the ball down the field. Hopefully we have another target that can be able to work on that defense, which was amazing. They lost because their corner got called for pass interference, to be honest. And it was like really close. It was really close. But that corner was playing crazy. So I don't see us winning this football game. But still, in the same breath as I said that the Ravens aren't really an 0-2 football team, if we do become 1-2 after these 3 games, we're not really a 1-2 football team because the Ravens will be playing in January and the Saints will be playing in January. We lost to 2 teams that probably, when this thing is over, are going to be real threats to win championships. So we need to know that, what did I say before the game, and I got to go. We're not a very good team, and we're not a very bad team. We're 9-8, 10-7.